Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another one of my live videos. I hope you're all doing wonderfully well. Currently on this Saturday evening. More things is currently updated in the press now about Manchester United. There's currently like 6 weeks or so until the current transfer window opens. £100 million spending spree spending in January reportedly. The board are reportedly backing him, but Jose Mourinho players, he obviously, he sees the defensive issues. We've conceded 21 goals this season. And there's also other teams out there, looking to strengthen their team up, sanction some players off as well. But reportedly, Mourinho's looking to strengthen the defence up. He's looking to strengthen the attack up as well. And, he only got 3 players during the summer window. He got Doyle, he got League and second choice keeper, and he got Fred for £50 million. He spent just under £400 million on 11 players since he's come to the club. But you basically, according we need to spend, to compete, with likes of Manchester City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Indeed, and some of these players are happy with Mourinho's managerial style, his style of play. So there's some of the players, he's had disputes with quite a few players, since he's come to Manchester United as well. With a good pedigree he's got, he has yet to succeed at Manchester United, and he has got 3 trophies to his name. But yeah, we all know defensively Mourinho's going to look to sanction a few defenders off, but basically Mourinho's priority target to get a strong central defender there. He's also looking for an attacker as well. He's been linked to quite a few attackers. Obviously, we know Lukaku hasn't been in great form this season. He was in great form last season, to be quite fair, Romelu Lukaku, but he hasn't been in great form this season. Currently being injured as well. We know Sanchez hasn't really made an impact since he's come to Old Trafford. So Jose Mourinho is also looking for an attacker in the January transfer market as well. So reportedly, according to the press, Mourinho's linked with quite a few central defenders. Reportedly, Manchester United are linked with Diego Godin. As I said on the other videos, is current Atletico Madrid centre-back. Reportedly, Manchester United were interested in during the course of last summer. Currently, reportedly, he's coming to an end of his deal. He's got a lot of experience in Spain. He's had a lot of experience for like a decade now because he's been with Villarreal. He's been at Atletico Madrid 8 or 9 years as a defender. Do you think he'd complement our defence fantastically well? But reportedly, in his current deal, he does have a 20 million release clause. Does the player? I think he can play he's a central defender. I've never really watched much of him, but Man United have been linked to him for quite a long time. Mourinho was interested in during. He does have a 20 million release clause. He's a player that's been, as I said, Villarreal and Atletico Madrid. I think he's won 7 major honours as the current defender. But reportedly, Manchester United are linked with a player, but Atletico Madrid want to sign him a new deal there. Jill, do you think he'd do well in our defensive area? Reportedly as well, it's just come out in the press, big breaking news that currently Toby Alderweireld, who Jose Mourinho was heavily linked with during the summer. Man United couldn't get a deal done in the summer. There had been discussions between Manchester United, Ed Woodward and Tottenham. Man United had been in discussions with Tottenham. We know Tottenham during the course of the summer wanted Anthony Martial. But reportedly, Tottenham were demanding that they wanted around a big fee for Toby Alderweireld, around £60 million. They demanded that they wanted for him during the course of summer. Man United were reluctant to pay that much for Toby Alderweireld. He's a centre-back. He can also play as a full-back as well, can the player. Potentially, we do need another full-back, mate, basically, because that full-back position, Luke Shaw's playing a lot more this season, than he did last season. He had disputes with Jose Mourinho last season, did Luke Shaw. We know he's had injuries since he's come to the club. We potentially could be seeing Darmian go as well, because he hasn't potentially had a lot of game time this season with Manchester United. He's only played once this season as Darmian. But reportedly, Toby Alderweireld, yes, reportedly he has a release clause of £25 million next summer. It says it's according to reports, but accordingly, Man United are willing to do a cut price deal for Toby Alderweireld, to get him in January instead of getting him next summer. But basically, Tottenham, if Tottenham were to sanction him off in the January window, Man United are heavily linked to him. It's one of Jose Mourinho's main priority targets. Tottenham would gain more money than they would do, if they were to sanction him off next summer. Tottenham maybe gain, they'd probably get about maybe £35-40 million from him in January. But obviously, next summer, Man United are aware next summer he is obviously available for £25 million, with his 5 million release clause. Toby Alderweireld, reportedly Jose Mourinho's been monitoring the player very, very well. He's been watching him in progress, and Jose Mourinho's basically satisfied with his current performances. He's also Premier League proven as well as Toby Alderweireld. Is it Alderweireld or Alderweireld, however you pronounce his name? Because obviously he's at Tottenham. He's been, I think it's his 4th season now with Tottenham. He's also been at Southampton in the past, and he's won titles with Atletico Madrid in his first season and got to the final with them as well. So he's had experience being in Spain. And he also won 3 titles with Ajax, where he'd risen up the ranks, Toby Alderweireld as well. But potentially, I think there were talks during the summer that Tottenham were trying involving Martial as part of the deal of Manchester United getting Toby Alderweireld. As we know with Martial, he's potentially coming to an end of his deal with Manchester United. Reportedly, it says in the press the other week, Man United were willing to offer £45 million for his annual salary and a 5-year deal. We know he's been withdrawn from the France squad, but I think Mourinho wants Martial to stay at Old Trafford. I think Manchester United are reluctant to sanction Anthony Martial off, especially based on his... sorry guys about that. Especially based on his performances this season, which have been absolutely fantastic, to be fair. We know due to that Lukaku hasn't been playing for quite Lukaku hasn't been in great form this season. When Lukaku hasn't been playing, Mourinho's been putting Martial or Rashford in that central position. But obviously we know current Martial's agents have been trying to get Martial a new contract. He turned the previous one down, did Anthony Martial, but I do really want him to stay at the club. And we know also Jose Mourinho's been with the likes of Harry Maguire, Leicester's Harry Maguire, who just signed a new with the likes of Harry Maguire, Leicester's Harry Maguire, who just signed a new long-term deal with Leicester City. So Mourinho has been linked with him as well. Reportedly, it said in the press, Mourinho wants to keep Eric Bailly at the club. He wants to keep Bailey at the... he wants to sanction Bailey off, We've had him since Villarreal since 2016. He's only scored 1 goal since come to the club. He wants Marcus Rojo to go as well, does Mourinho. Potentially Darmian, from his own perspective, wants to leave Manchester United, but Darmian basically come out. He says he does want to leave Man United. There's a few Italian clubs interested in him. He's obviously played with Italy. He's played in Italy, with Torino in the past. I think this is his 3rd or 4th season with Man United. He's Matteo Dans. But he can't even get into the starting 11 now, and Darmian, feels unsatisfied about this. So basically, he wants to leave. He's coming to an end of his contract as well. He's Darmian at the end of the season. But reportedly, Jose Mourinho is convinced, and Mourinho admitted he wants to keep him, until at least the end of the season. But potentially Darmian could maybe go in January, could go, when his contract expires. But potentially for me, I think Toby Alderweireld would fit very well into the Manchester United agenda in that centre-back position, because we do need a strong centre-back, cover obviously the amount of goals, Manchester United have been conceding this season. We've conceded 21 Premier League goals in our first 12 games, which is very, very bad. And, everyone's criticised Mourinho with his reluctance to drop Nemanja Matic from the squad. There's players that have had disputes with Jose Mourinho. We've got a catalogue of players, coming to the deals, the board, and, the owners are focusing on trying to get, the majority of these players that are coming to the deals, securing them new deals at Old Trafford. Reportedly, attackively, Jose Mourinho basically wants to get someone, alongside Lukaku and all that, basically because we haven't been in great form this season. Sanchez hasn't been in great form this season. But reportedly, it's come out in the press today about, I think it came today with this Everton Sowers. Manchester United have reportedly showed an interest in him. Man United have been, scouting the player. He's a player that... who made his debut for the internationals quite a few months ago. Reportedly, based on his fantastic performances with Guerrero, he's got himself into the senior squad with as the player. Reportedly, he can play in the middle. He can also play on the left as well, can Everton size. And he risen up the ranks with Guerrero, and he's been in the senior team with them now for since 2014 as the player. I don't know much of him. Reportedly, he's got a new contract. Reportedly, he has I think his release clause is around £60 million is the players. But reportedly, United are interested in him. Manchester City are interested in the player as well. It says they were linked to him as well. So essentially, I can't really comment about him because I really don't know much of him. So I can't really say. Do you think he'd complement the likes of Lukaku, Martial, and Rashford? This Everton size. Do you think he'd complement them? I don't know because I've never really watched much of him. I've just seen it in the media of what's being reported in the media as well. Basically, a lot of United fans basically are Jose Mourinho out, with his tactics, with his wrong team selection, basically we was in a good run of form, before the Manchester City game, as we all know. But obviously, we were dreadful against Manchester City. Sanchez was furious that he didn't get the start. We have spent a lot of money since Alex Ferguson retired from the club. We have spent a lot of money. We spent like £1 billion or so in all the managerial eras. We've had 3 different managers with different styles of play and different philosophies. Some of these players here now are unsatisfied with Jose Mourinho's style of play, his managerial style at the club. We know he's proven in the Premier League and he's won titles everywhere he's been. But potentially also in the press, there's been potential talks of Memphis Depay. Reportedly, some Man United fans maybe want to see him come back to playing English football with Manchester United, because obviously he was at Manchester United for a couple of years. Reportedly, Manchester United want Jose Mourinho to activate his buyback clause, but he's in scintillating form. He's Memphis Depay. He's proven himself well out of English football. I do like him as a player. He's good at cutting inside plays. His dribbling ability is fantastic. His passing is very, very good. And he's mainly a winger, is Memphis Depay, but he didn't really make that impact at Manchester United. That was quite a shame because I think he is a very, very good, skillful player, but he didn't score, many goals, when he came to Manchester United, under Louis van Gaal era. His performances for Lyon this season have been good. Last season, his performances with Lyon were very, very good. I think he's been at Lyon quite a few years now as the player. He's scored 5 goals this season, 5 assists and 34 shots in 13 games as Memphis Depay. We know he's a player that, he got voted the best young player in the world by France. He also risen up the ranks of PSV. He was at PSV for like 4 years or so, and I think his first season he scored 50 goals out of 50 goals in 124 games in all competitions. In 2014-15, for PSV as well. In 2014-15 as well for PSV, he was currently PSV's top scorer. And he helped them win the title with PSV as well. Didn't really make an impact since he come to Man United. He was mainly a number 7, was Memphis Depay. But there's still some United fans that want him back now because he's great. He's had fantastic experience of being in with PSV. Fantastic now experience of being with France and France with Lyon, and he's doing very, very well with Lyon. To be quite fair to him, he's Memphis Depay didn't do so well with Manchester United, but since he's he's been in absolute he's been a great player. I just don't think he was that good at Manchester United. Was Memphis Depay. But yeah, as I'm saying, basically we do need some more signings. There's other teams looking to strengthen their squad more, for the January window, looking to sanction players off and looking to spend more money. But basically we have, Jose Mourinho for me doesn't know his potential best 11. We have got the players, I think they are good enough to at least still finish in the top 4. Mourinho's come out saying he's still convinced that basically Manchester United can get the top 4. Basically, it said in the press, we need Champions League football. We need Champions League. We need to get the top 4 this season and get Champions League football for next season. Or Jose Mourinho is going to be under serious pressure. We know this is our start to a season, basically. Since this is our start to season for years, because we didn't even have this bad a start under Moyes or Louis van Gaal. And for me, Mourinho hasn't got the right philosophy at the moment at Manchester United. But potentially we need this team to be challenging, competing for titles, and we're not doing that. We haven't done that, basically since the Alex Ferguson era. And we know if players are hard to come to this club, they want, these players want to be, good players, especially like Toby Alderweireld and, Diogo Godin wants to be up there, graduating to that higher level, challenging for trophies. And this is what Manchester United are doing, but aren't doing at the moment. But if we can get the performance up, and if we can do that, these players that we linked with would probably want to come and join Manchester United. We know with Paul Pogba, he currently missed the Manchester derby. With Paul Pogba, obviously we paid £89 million for him. He was very, very good in his 4 or 5 years in serving with Juventus. He proved the point. He made 179 appearances and won honours with them. We know he left in 2012, did Paul Pogba, due to that he wasn't getting any, first team action under Alex Ferguson at the time. His performances with Juventus were absolutely fantastic with Paul Pogba's. We know he's had disputes with Jose Mourinho, but I think Pogba calls Manchester United his own because he said he's always dreamt playing for United. He wanted to come to score goals. He proves himself sometimes. He's our most central midfielder. You could tell we play a different style of football, when Paul Pogba's out, as we saw against Manchester City. But City have got great cohesion in their team of Manchester City, with the amount of money they've spent on players. We've just got to set they're better than us now. They've got a fantastic manager in Pep Guardiola. He's got a fantastic pedigree. He spent £1 billion in all his managerial career. More than half that's been spent on City. And he's got a fantastic philosophy. And he's emulating the football he did with Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Is Pep Guardiola. But saying about Pogba, yes, he had disputes with Mourinho. Reportedly, according to Raiola, his current agent, reportedly they've fixed the relationship up now with Jose Mourinho and Paul Pogba. I think he feels happy at Manchester United. Reportedly, there's been talks about him potentially making a return to Juventus, Paul Pogba. But obviously, he's still our most central midfielder because obviously he should have started Fred against City. Mourinho, as we all know, but potentially Matches and Fellaini, are not a good midfield. And, I know Mourinho has a good relationship with Nemanja Matic. So this may be why he's refusing to drop Matic. A lot of Man United fans want to see him dropped because, it's a bad midfield, basically, with Matic and Fellaini. How are you going to get it through to your attackers properly, with Matic and Fellaini as a midfield and Herrera. For me, he needs to start Fred. Maybe give Pereira the chance, does Jose Mourinho. And, even give Fellaini the chance. I'd play Fellaini in the little games, maybe in the little games, but in the big games, I'd put Fred there. Or I'd put Pereira there. It's just basically as easy as that because we all know Manny and Fellaini. He did play well against City, to be fair, but I think he's an average player because he got bought from an average manager because Moyes had worked with Manny and Fellaini, during his days with Everton. Obviously, before Fellaini come to United and Moyes got appointed Manchester United manager as well. But potentially we are linked with quite a lot of players for the January transfer window. Mourinho's looking to sanction quite a few players off. For me, Man United are still in talks of getting Herrera a new deal. I think Herrera does want to stay at Old Trafford. He has been here since the Louis van Gaal era. Man United are in discussions of signing him a new deal at Old Trafford. Ander Herrera has yet to sign this new deal. For me, he hasn't played much from the start this season as Ander Herrera. Obviously, he's been making substitute appearances this season as Ander Herrera for United. But potentially, he may want more game time from the start. If he's to stay at Manchester United and under Jose Mourinho, of course. But we have got, as I said, we have got a lot of players coming to the end of the deals. As I said, potentially David De Gea. I do really hope David De Gea does sign this extension. Currently, he hasn't signed this extension yet. He's won Player of the Year 4 out of his 5 seasons. He has been here like 7-8 years or something like that now as David De Gea. Good in his Atletico Madrid days. His family's in Spain, his girlfriend's in Spain as well as De Gea. Potentially the best goalkeeper in the world, but obviously he's a goalkeeper that wants to be up there, elevating to a higher level, challenging for Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues, and it's not happening, under Jose Mourinho because, the size of this club, the strappings of this club, the history we've had, under Alex Ferguson, and the money we've spent, since Ferguson's left, we should be in a much more commanding position as we should be now. And these players, some of these players at Manchester United are thinking that. And, David De Gea is potentially a winner. He wants Manchester United to be up there competing, does David De Gea. But reportedly, he has the option to extend his contract. Representatives have been in discussions about getting him this extension. But at the moment, De Gea has basically refused this at the moment. Mourinho said quite a few weeks ago he wasn't, it's up in the air at the moment. Mourinho said he wasn't too confident he was going to sign this new deal at Old Trafford. Potentially, if it was to go, it'd be hard to get a goalkeeper at a level like David De Gea. It would be very, very hard indeed. Don't get me wrong. Just gonna have a drink. But yeah, if you're just tuning in the channel, I'd just like to remind you, as I said, if you do want to drop a like or put a comment, or if you do consider subscribe, do that. If you've been reading the media outlet, this video is regarding Diego Godin and Toby Alderweireld from Tottenham. Just to go through it again, reportedly Man United are willing to offer him a cut price deal in the January window. Man United know he's available for 25 million in summer, with his 25 odd million pound release clause. As I said, I think this is his 4th season at Tottenham. He's well proven in the Premier League. So do you think he can help the defensive issues at Manchester United? I think he'd complement our defence pretty well, to be quite honest, because he's proven in the Premier League. He would be coming to a new area, obviously, and be playing amongst different players, Toby Alderweireld. But there has been discussions between Manchester United and Tottenham. Ed Woodward's been discussions. Man United have been monitoring, how he's been going on. Jose Mourinho seems satisfied with his performances. But potentially for me, we could see Bailey go, as I said. We could see Rojo go, as I said, wasn't the same player since he got injured against Anderlecht. And Lindelof, to be quite fair, I think will be staying. Lindelof, to be quite fair, has improved this season for Manchester United, to be quite fair. Last season he wasn't so good, Victor Lindelof, but Jose Mourinho has been going with Lindelof and Smalling for most of this season. We know Bailey can't get into the team, especially this season. So yeah, I think he'd fit the Manchester United agenda well. Do you think Diego Godin would fit the Manchester United agenda well? We know he's never played in the Premier League, Diego Godin. He's always, mainly been in Spain, but, Diego Godin, he's always, mainly been in Spain, but, do you think he'd make a good candidate for Manchester United, Diego Godin? If it was Diego Godin, who has a 20 million release clause, he hasn't signed a new deal yet with Atletico Madrid. Man United were linked with him during the course of last summer as well. But obviously, never got him. But potentially we could get him in January, or maybe, go for him next summer when he comes a free agent. I don't know. But, yeah, there's still issues in that team that needs dressing. But as I said, now up until Christmas, we haven't got that many difficult games. I don't know when we've got Arsenal and Liverpool, but Jose Mourinho's got to get it right. He can't park the bus. He can't play defensive, Jose Mourinho. As I said, but all of a sudden now basically the board are backing Jose Mourinho. So would you like Toby Alderweireld at Manchester United, or would you like Diego Godin at Manchester United? Would you like Harry Maguire at Manchester United? But potentially, I think he's still playing players slightly out of position. He's got Ashley Young for me, plays as a winger for England and played as a right winger, for Aston Villa during his Villa days. Mourinho prefers him at that right back position, as we all know. Potentially, Man United is still in talk. Ashley Young's very, very good, to be quite fair. Man United have been in talks of signing him another 1-year deal. Same with Antonio Valencia. And Ashley Young and Valencia, have experienced the good times at Manchester United. As we all know, although Valencia hasn't played for a while due to his injury, Doyle hasn't played much this season due to that. He's been injured as well. But obviously Valencia is our most essential right back, as we all currently know. So, what do you think to this news about Toby Alderweireld and Diego Godin? Manchester United have renewed their interest. And also Man United are linked with Everton Soares. As I said near the start of the video, he's a Grêmio player. He's just been called up in the Brazil senior squad based on his fantastic performances with Grêmio. He can, as I said, he can play in the middle. He can play on the left. He's been in the senior team with Grêmio since 2014. Reportedly, the Man U and City are interested in him. Reportedly, and he does have a contract, and his release clause is around £60 million. Is the players. I don't really know much, but it's come out in the media that Man United are reportedly interested in him. So for me, potentially we could see, there's a few players that I think will go in January. Basically you could see Sanchez leave in January. We know he hasn't made the impact. So he's got 4 goals since he's come. His current representative's been in discussions. with Real Madrid about potentially making a move there. Sanchez for me hasn't really fitted into Manchester United agenda because he was good during his Arsenal days, and with Arsene Wenger. To be really fair, he was good with Barca, good with underneath. Was like Sanchez, but he just hasn't made the impact. He's only been here since January. He's on £500,000 a week. Yeah, so he could potentially go. Could have Sanchez. For me, I thought he should have definitely started the Manchester United derby. You've got Mata there. Man United are in talks securing him a new deal. So I hope he doesn't leave because I think he's been a very good, consistent player, to be quite fair, since Moyes got him in 2014. Juan Mata. Juan Mata for me, he plays him on the right, just Jose Mourinho when he plays him. But for me, he is more of a number 10. He's a... Juan Mata, to be quite fair, come out in the press the other week. Arsenal were interested in him. Umainwe was keen on reuniting with Man Mata. Obviously, he worked with him during his days with Valencia. Juan Mata's got a lot of experience now in the Premier League with Chelsea, and now he's at United. So he's been in the Premier League now about 8 years or so, something like that, as Juan Mata. So we basically need to get wins behind us now because I think Tottenham will basically maybe sanction Alderweireld off in January because obviously they may probably get about £35-40 million for him in January, but if Tottenham don't sell him in January. And then, of course, if they decide to sell him on the summer, they've lost out on basically more money of Tottenham because they know next summer he's £25 million because that's his release clause, £25 million. So Tottenham probably rather get a bit more money for him in January rather than let him go, on a reduced price in the summer as well. But yeah, it's basically I wonder what Toby Alderweireld thinks from his perspective on this. With these rumours stemming out from the press about him being linked with a move to Old Trafford. Potentially, he may want to because obviously we know Tottenham are very consistent. They don't obviously win much silverware, but they have got great players in that team. I think Pochettino's only spent around £50 million since he got appointed Tottenham manager, and that was back in 2014. For me, I think Tottenham may get Champions League football this season. I think they may get into the top 4, Tottenham, this season. Potentially for me, the best time they've never won the league, but potentially for me, for Tottenham, they have got a good set of bunch of players. Harry Kane won the Golden Boot for the last couple of years. They've got Vertonghen. I think Vertonghen's injured at the moment. For Tottenham, they've got Danny Rose, who I like as well. Tottenham, you've got some good players of Tottenham. The best chance they had of winning the league was back in 2015-16, obviously, when Leicester City won it. But I still think on the day they can play good football, they can, get good results, can Tottenham. As I said, so, but would Alderweireld, would leave Tottenham and come to Manchester United, because obviously Manchester United are a lot bigger club. We know the performances aren't good at the moment, but maybe a player of his calibre, could change Manchester United around, defensively. And that's basically what we want because we need a strong centre-half. Mourinho's explained this, so we'll have to see what happens, guys, about that. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again on the next video. Take care, and there will be more live coming up very soon. Bye.